Not bad. That's the USA 2C, you know, the boogie, and the cab it's using is the 4x12 Recto. But what if I wanted to build something from scratch, say, I don't know, a Marshall Plexi 50? I would do this. I would go to a free preset bank and we would start again. So in here I would insert, well, we're going to need a cab. We're going to need an amp, aren't we? So let's find an amp. And our amp will be the Plexi 50, I think, jumped version. That'll give me a nice bit of crunch. We're going to need a cabinet, and I'm going to look for a Marshall, I don't know, TV cabinet, a good old favourite, 4x12 basket weave TV mix. There we go, can't go wrong. Now, of course, we've got to join those up into the signal path, so we better do that. There's one end, there's our input, and here will be our output, and it's going to sound like that, which ain't bad already. It's got that Marshall hair, that classic Marshall hair. So let's have a look at the amp settings. The bright switch is on. I would probably turn that off because, you know, I'm not big on the hair. There you go, softens it up straight away, but I'll up the treble a little bit just to compensate. And I'll turn the bass down. I may even use the bass cut. We'll have a look at that in a moment. So let's have a listen. Pretty damn good. I hear a little bit of noise there. Let's have a look at the input noise gate. This is a Strat after all. It's got single core pickups, and if I'm in the bridge position, it's going to buzz. So up goes the threshold, little bit of ratio. And I'll use the classic one, I think. No noise. Excellente. Now, in front of the Marshall, I may want a drive, just to give it a bit more push. So let's pop in a drive block, and I've got a heap of drives here to choose from. I'm going to choose the classic old 808. We'll keep this pretty bread and butter, and I'm going to turn the drive down and the level up, and when I turn it on, it's going to rock, and it already is rocking. So that's cool. I've got a drive, and I've got an amp, and I've got a cab. I might want a wah-wah. Let's put a wah-wah in. Sound like I'm talking to children, don't I? But I don't mean to. All right, now we need to operate that wah somehow. So I'm going to use the control button here to use my external foot switch 1, which is on the beautiful Chris Hine built board that you can see in front of you right now, and I'm going to use auto engage at medium speed. So when I hit the rocker down a little bit, I'm going to get perfect. And when I put the rocker back up, it's going to stop. Now, if we're going for the classic type of setup, I might as well whack a phaser in there too, I think. So I'm going to put a phaser block in, and I'm just going to pick the classic old Script 90, which I quite like, and that's pretty cool. I can call on that whenever I want. Now, how about that with the drive? Not bad, but it may be more pronounced if I put the drive in front of the phaser, which I'm doing now. And it is, but you hear the bottom end drop out. I'm going to put the drive back. All right, I also would like some delay. So I think I'll put a delay here, maybe some stereo tape delay, and I've got one of those here. It's going to sound like that. just turn this phaser off and the drive. That's pretty good. I'm going to change the bypass mode on the delay block to mute effects in, which means that when I turn it off, it's going to leave me with some tails. Excellente. Now, I think we should have a little bit of reverb as well, just to give it some ambience. And today's reverb will be Recording Studio C. Thank you, John, over at Fractal, who recommended that one. Normal resolution to save the CPU limit, which you can see up here is at 66%. Sounded good. Put the drive in. Excellent. And one last thing will be some chorus, and today's chorus will be the Dimension 1, I think, for some stereo yumminess. Drive off, delay off. That's probably too much reverb. Go to the reverb block, back the mix off down a little bit. Alright, this is too much fun. And then we need to assign all of this stuff to the AX8 foot switches so we can turn them on and off at will. And that's just a matter of hitting the foot switches block over here. We've got controllers, foot switches, and MIDI. Let's just stick with foot switches. I'm going to put reverb here. I'm going to put delay here. I'm going to put chorus here. And I'm going to put... Excuse me, it's talking to the AX8. I've got to give it a bit of a second. The drive there, and the phaser here. And the wah, we don't need to put anyway because the expression pedal's already doing its job. If I wanted to, I could fill this up with scenes. One last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the low cut to back this off to about 80 or 90 hertz and down to about 6 or 7, and that will tell anything that the AX8 is seeing that, you know, it's got the frequency spectrum or margin of a cabinet. So that's a pretty pumping 50-watt plexi that I can goose with the drive. Or have some wah fun with. Cool, huh? And here's the AX8 with all of those things put into its foot switches, so you can see what it sounds like and looks like in operational mode now that we've got it together. Okay, I want to steer away from the GUI now and actually have a look just at the hardware. So here's our hardware, the AX8 in all its glory, mounted on Chris Hines' quite excellent road case board. We'll have a look at that closer in another video. And all of those foot switch assignments that I showed you in the Axe Edit have been assigned to their respective switches down here on the floor from 1 to 8. So I've got drive, chorus, delay, reverb, and up here on the right, phaser. And of course I can switch the wah in at any time just by hitting the rocker. Now, what I haven't shown you in the editing software on X-Edit is scenes, and scenes are basically different combinations of all of the aforementioned effects. So I've programmed 4 scenes, scenes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and they all give me different combinations of these effects. For instance, scene 1 is nothing on, just the amp and the cabinet. Scene 2 I can toggle by hitting foot switch number 5, and it will just switch in the drive and the delay. So an instantaneous lead sound. So back again to just raw. And I can toggle between scene 1 and scene 2 with that foot switch number 5, and I can program all of this stuff in X-Edit, tell any of these foot switches to do any of that stuff. Foot switch number 6 is scene 3, which is chorus and reverb. So I hit the switch next to it and it takes me straight back to scene 1, which is just raw and dirty and no effects. So again, scene 3, chorus and reverb, but if I want to bring in some drive, well, I can. Or if I want to bring in delay, I can. Scene 4 will take me straight into a combination of phaser and delay. Or I can go straight back to scene 1 for nothing. Scene 3, 4 rather. And again, if I hit, if I want to bring in effects in or out of those scenes, it's just a matter of hitting that one, for instance, which brings in the drive. Now, if I hit scene 1, it takes me back to the amp and the cabinet. If I hit scene 4 again, I've programmed scene 4 in as phaser and delay, but the last time I used it, I put the drive in there in the signal path as well. So you can actually tell the scenes in the interface software whether or not to revert back to the last state that they were left in, which is in this case with the drive in there, or in the programmed state, and that is just scene revert on or off. There are videos and very clear manual descriptions on how to do that. So there it is, guys. It's the AX8. It's at least 200 odd amps. Thousands of cabinets are available. Every conceivable effect known to mankind. It's bulletproof. It sounds great, I reckon. And, you just got to love it. You just got to love it. I'll do some more videos on the AX8 for anybody who isn't clear, and I'm sure there are tons of questions. See you soon. Thanks for watching.